just give me a second while I adjust this, guys. Sorry. All right, so it wouldn't let me start the live until I adjusted the orientation. Anyway, so hi Aries. I hope October was lovely for you. There was a lot going on this past month, and I know I gave you guys all of the signs in a shortened monthly forecast, but we're going to go back to our normal format this month. So I already have your cards shuffled, your monthly forecast, your love and relationship, and career and finances. I'm going to go ahead and put these to the side. If this is your first time here, what I do is I go over the month of November overall, and then I dig in a little deeper with your love and career and finances. Both of those spreads are the same, where I look into what to expect, the unexpected, and theme of the month for both love and relationships. I am going to use the Oracle deck this month. I think I want to use Crystal Spirits this month. Or you know what? Maybe I'll use Spirit Animal. I haven't used that one in a long time. Oh, shit. Damn it, that deck is in my kit, and I don't feel like moving, so maybe Crystal Spirits it is. This is the Crystal Spirit. So let's go ahead and pick that now. I'm doing the readings live this month because I just don't think I have it in me personally to record and edit and upload. I think I'm just, and when I say in me, I don't mean energetically. I just mean, I think I'm a little bit focused on like some other projects that I want to do. And I think for Aries, please, November 2025. I think if I do that, then I'll feel slowed down if I do my normal process. So I hope you guys just work with me this month, but I don't think you mind, if I'm being honest. I don't think you mind the lives. It's just not as cleanly edited, that's all. But let's go ahead and get into it because I don't want to gab. I'm feeling very, very chatty today, but I'm hoping I can rein it in. So let's just really kind of stick to business. I'm coaching myself here so I can focus on this reading. Current self is the Star. Theme of the month is Wheel of Fortune. That's beautiful. Key goal to pursue is King of Swords. Obstacle to overcome is the Hierophant. Major accomplishment is Eight of Cups. What to avoid is Page of Pentacles. What to embrace is the Moon. Where to find support is Two of Swords. And advice and encouragement is Seven of Pentacles. Okay, this is great. I mean, I started to say this feels like a balanced month to me. And when I say balanced, I mean like balanced as in like, I feel like you're being real with yourself, Aries. I feel like you're being honest about what you want and what you want to achieve. Let me fix this light here. Oh, I don't think that was helpful. I'm trying to get it out. There we go. And I think that you're being patient with yourself, but you know, let's get into this one by one. I like this month overall, but it feels like you're trimming the fat. If I'm being really honest, you're trimming the fat. Okay, back in deck energy is Six of Cups. So maybe in the recent past, maybe even around this new moon in Libra, you made amends with someone. This is like an apology. Sometimes the Six of Cups is about family and past connections or people close to you. So maybe you recently spent time with people close to you or reconciled with someone. A lot of times that is what that represents. In November this month, we do have we're going to be in Mercury retrograde most of the month from the 9th to the 29th, I believe. So I would really either do any Christmas shopping, you know, before like the first week of November, or wait until December comes, if I'm being really honest. All right, so let's go ahead and jump in. So current self is the Star. We have Aquarius energy here. This is also hopefulness and even rejuvenation and even just taking care of yourself, leaning into faith as well. I am getting a little bit of a restorative energy here. I feel like as the month of November starts, Aries, you're just kind of wanting to take care of yourself. You're wanting to restore yourself and kind of nurse yourself back to health, if that makes sense. That's kind of what I'm getting from this. You're taking things slow and steady. Theme of the month is Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune is good luck, good karma, stroke of fate. I don't use reversals in this deck, so if I were, this could be a message that maybe you're clinging to control in some way. I don't think that's the message, but we'll confirm. It's also the turning of a wheel, right? It's like things are turning around for you. Now, I've been working with this deck for a long time, so the Wheel of Fortune continues to teach me the more I work with tarot, and also the more I grow in my practice. And so sometimes you could have a Wheel of Fortune moment in a day, like, and that could mean that like you got an unexpected deposit, or you, you know, got off work early or something. It could be, you know, something really small, but it could also be very big. It could be very big where things finally turn around for you. This is feeling more like a turning point though, considering how we have the star here. Like, it does feel like you're hoping for things to get better. You're hoping for your circumstances to change. And it does seem like that will happen for you for the better. It does feel like things are turning around for you this month as we close out the year of 2025. Okay. Theme of Kegel to Pursue is King of Swords. Now, if we're talking about you, this is about you embodying a very intelligent level. And when I say that, I don't mean like, I don't mean intelligent level as in like you're just getting smarter. I mean like this is just kind of tapping into like a very brainy energy, a very cerebral energy. You're not being led by your emotions this month, or at least this is what you should be pursuing not being led by your emotions this month. This is also a very communicative sign. Like when the King of Swords comes up, you're thinking very clearly, you're an expert subject matter. Sometimes this is also about working with people who are subject matters. So think accountants, lawyers, real estate agents. I'm watching like the newest season of Selling Sunset. So again, in the position of Kegel to Pursue, this could be that, like pursue working with a professional. But usually the message in the position of Kegel to Pursue is usually something personally that you need to do, not usually relating to someone you need to align with, usually. So I think this is a message of like kind of get smart, wise up, if that makes sense. You know, create a plan that's logical, execute your desires and goals logically. But of course, the King of Swords is connected to air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius, in case an air sign is important to you. Now, obstacle to overcome is the Hierophant. This is Taurus energy, in case a Taurus is important to you. This is also related to spiritual teachers. This is also related to structures and organizations and institutions such as churches, hospitals, corporations. I connect the Hierophant to the workforce. This and the Devil I often connect to work, just because of the sheer nature of like corporate life and the workforce. But we will confirm. We will confirm. Because considering how your current self is the Star, and considering how your obstacle to overcome is the Hierophant, you may be struggling with your faith or your connection to God right now. I wouldn't be surprised, Aries, if you're in a season of like wondering where God is, wondering why God did X to you or why me. You might be having a lot of those questions. So that's coming to mind, but I'd like to confirm that. We'll go back to that. Major accomplishment is the Eight of Cups, walking away from something or someone. The Eight of Cups is also about being alone, needing isolation. In the reverse position, the Eight of Cups can often represent giving something or someone another chance. I don't think that's the message here, but it's possible. We'll see what comes up in the other readings. So it seems like maybe choosing yourself is the message here, because a lot of times the Eight of Cups is like knowing when to walk away for your own good, choosing to walk away for your self-worth, your self-respect. That's not really the message, but it's like, that's how I look at it, because the Eight of Cups, it's like you're walking away before you've lost everything. Imagine, okay, Spirit is giving me Vegas. Imagine going to Vegas and you, that's why people should never go to Vegas or just gamble in general. I live in the state of New Jersey, so gambling, it's really easy to gamble online. I'm not really like a gambling addict, thank God. But I have been there where I'm like kind of delusional. I'm like, I've got a couple $100, maybe I could strike it big. And when you're desperate, like maybe like if you've got a big bill to pay or something, you will take big risks. And if you're not careful, you will lose it all. And so bringing the message back to Eight of Cups, I feel like there's a message here, Aries, where like you're recognizing when to walk away before you've lost everything. You're not betting it all. You've already lost. You came into the casino with 400. You've already lost 300. You're like, you know what? This isn't looking good for me. I'd rather keep $100. I'd rather, take an L on 200 or 300 than lose all 400, And I think anybody hopefully, gambles with the wherewithal that they might lose everything. That just is what it is. They say the house always wins for a reason. Okay, that's just an analogy. I'm not trying to say that you're a gambling addict or anything, Aries. I'm just using that as an example of knowing when to walk away from the table, knowing when it's not worth risking everything, knowing when it's not worth losing your self-worth, knowing when it's not worth losing your self-respect, knowing when it's not worth losing your dignity over. Okay? I don't know if you guys can hear. I finally got a TV for the living room. I'm playing like, how like YouTube has those like cozy like jazz scenes or what, like those like scenes. It looks really beautiful. It's like a fireplace going. I've got that going on my TV right now with like smooth jazz or jazz piano. That's playing right now. Okay. All right. What to avoid is the Page of Pentacles. The Page of Pentacles could represent an earth sign, Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. The Page of Pentacles represents quite a lot. It represents manifesting a new idea or wanting to grow. It represents manifestation in the sense where you have an idea and you want to bring it to life kind of thing. But it's also about dedication, discipline, and like wanting, it's like apprenticeship. Like you recognize that you're not an expert, but you want to be better. Now, this is interesting because this is in the position of what to avoid. I'm not sure how to interpret that just yet, so we will clarify. I'm not going to over-explain it. We'll see. What to embrace is the moon. The moon is Pisces energy, in case a Pisces is important to you. The moon is also about what the unseen. It is about dreams. It is about the unconscious. It is about needing to follow and trust your intuition. A lot of times this message comes up. This is my honest, true belief. Because even though I'm psychic, there's still some times where I get certain cards, like especially in my career and finance deck, there's a card that says, embrace the wisdom of the unknown. And that is like definitely the vibe of the moon. And here's my theory on this, because I've thought about this a lot. I'm like, well, if I'm so fucking psychic, why can't I get answers to X, Y, Z? Like, why can't I figure this out? Why can't I figure that out? And the only conclusion that I have come up with is sometimes I feel like if Spirit told you or gave you all the clues, gave you all of the clues to solving the puzzle, if you will, that you wouldn't go through important tests along the way. I hope that makes sense. You know what? This is what spirits are giving me. If you always knew, if you were able to get, like, think back to grade school. If somebody just told you the answers to the test, you would never retain information. You know? If you were like, yeah, I'm so good. I'm locked in with Spirit. I'm locked in with Source. I have a direct line and I call and Spirit just gives me all the answers I need all the time. Sure, like for me, again, as a psychic, and for you, being attuned to this kind of work, hey, I'm helping you, giving you a little bit of a roadmap, giving you a little bit of a glimpse into what to expect for November. It's still not super, super clear, because if it was, we wouldn't learn anything along the way. And I think that is the whole point of this life. It's to evolve, it's to grow, and to help others. Personally, that is my theory. So going back to the moon, what to embrace, you're going to have to just trust the unknown. You're going through a season when your faith is being tested, Aries. That's just what November is. Your faith is being tested. And sometimes I think we need that to humble ourselves, to kind of remind ourselves that we can't do this entire life by ourselves. We do need to rely on a higher power. We do need to rely on even something bigger and better outside of our conscious knowing. Okay. Where to find support is Two of Swords. Whenever I have the Two of Swords, I like to use my yes, no deck. I take this really, truly with a grain of salt, guys, but it's just a personal rule here on my channel, okay? All right, so you decide what yes is and you decide what no is, okay? Or excuse me, you decide what A is and you decide what B is, because the Two of Swords is this or that. Should I go left? Should I go right? Should I go north? Should I go south? Okay, and usually this is like trying to figure out what to do. It seems like you are at some sort of crossroads. Aries, you're trying to figure out what the best course of action to take is. You understand that your life is taking a turn. You're just not really sure which road is going to be the best one to take. Okay, so if you're in the midst of an indecision, okay, think about what A is. You define what A is and you define what B is, okay? And we're going to get figure out whether or not we get a yes or no answer to A or B. Okay, so for A, what do you have, Spirit? What do you have, Spirit, for A, for Aries? Look, isn't that funny? That was a card that came out. Okay, we've got, yes, the best medicine, getting the real scoop. Okay, so that's for A. The best medicine. That's interesting. Okay, all right, let me know if that's connecting to you. And then for B, whatever B is, what's the answer for Aries, please, for B? What's your answer for them, Spirit, for Aries? Just one card, please, for B. Okay, we have yes. So interesting. Both options are a yes. This is the real deal. Your efforts bear fruit. So it seems that you're in a space, Aries, and again, I really take these with a grain of salt, that it seems like both options that you may be considering could lead to fulfillment. It's just a matter of what you want to endure or what you want to experience. That's kind of what I'm getting here, okay? All right, let's keep moving. And lastly, advice and encouragement, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is patience, taking your time, sowing your seeds, and watering them. So this month is about really, I'm surprised we don't have the Temperance here. It is about patience. It is about dedication, toiling or tending to your soil, if you will. Okay, let's see what I want to confirm. Oh, I got a little something down my throat. Let me. Okay, I want to confirm this Wheel of Fortune. Do I want to use the Kipper deck? Yeah, I do. What's changing for Aries? Clarify the Wheel of Fortune for Aries, please. Expectation. So you're already anticipating changes, maybe even anticipating the start of a new job, the start of a new move. Not necessarily that we have an ace here, but the Wheel of Fortune is usually opportunity that comes to you. Opportunity for success, or I don't know, because it's not always that. It's usually a change for the better, I guess is how I want to sum that up. But it seems that you're expecting this sort of change. So maybe you already know what this is. All right, clarify please the Ace of Swords or King of Swords. I do want to use tarot to clarify that, please. Clarify King of Swords for Aries. Okay, we've got the Page of Cups. Page of Cups is often happy surprise, but it also is something very emotional. Okay, so I'm getting grow up. Page of Cups is very, very emotional, very sensitive. Aries, you're going to have to grow up a little bit. You're going to have to grow up. You know what's really interesting? Okay, Spirit's giving me this. Last night I watched that documentary, The Perfect Neighbor, on Netflix. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it kind of got posted or got you know, put on Netflix a week or two ago, and I finally watched it last night. I didn't really have any idea what it was about. Sometimes I like to do that. Sometimes I like to just play things that are in the top whatever just to see what they're about. And I'm sorry if I'm ruining this because this is definitely a spoiler if you haven't seen it. But basically, this neighbor ended up shooting a mother of children in the neighborhood. Tensions really escalated, and the woman shot her through the door. And it became really, I didn't really know this at the time. I don't know if my head was in the sand or I don't know, because this was back in 2022 apparently. And I think the trial happened in 2023. That the problem was this was in the state of Florida, and Florida has a law where, like a stand your ground law, where I think you are allowed to technically shoot somebody through I guess technically you're able to shoot somebody through a door, but like, I think the circumstances would need to be much different. Like, I think I couldn't really imagine somebody shooting someone else through like a glass window if a gun or a cannon or whatever was also aimed at them. At that point, yeah, sure, stand your ground. But the circumstances was a neighbor was just banging on her door, and the woman shot her through a locked door. And so she obviously got, not obviously, because this was a lot controversial, she got sent to jail. But watch the whole documentary for the details. But the point that I want to make is she wasn't dead immediately. By the time the ambulance came, I don't really know all that transpired, but at some point the cops asked, the father of the kids to come because I think they were separated. So the father comes, the kids are crying, and he's like, hey, it's all good, dad's here. So the cops pull him to the side and they give him the news, and he like temporarily breaks down. There's a point to this, stay with me. The dad, like for a split second, breaks down because, and I can only imagine, like, regardless of what's going on between you and your ex, because I know co-parenting isn't easy, that's still the mother of your child, and you just got the news that the mother of your child has passed. And that is like earth-shattering news. But what I thought was fucking incredible, and I just have the utmost respect for this Black man, when it was time, he gathered himself and he had to tell his boys that his mother, in the most gentlest way, was never coming back. First of all, as I was watching this, I was absolutely bawling. And I'm like on the verge of tears right now explaining it, but I was really crying. Like crying because I just felt those boys' pain. And I was so impressed. I don't know if that father was kind of like in shock. And I think he just went into like fight mode, flight or fight. I think he really just kind of like turned a switch and he was like, I got to be there for my boys. Because he had his moment. He broke down. But then he like quickly gathered himself and just immediately became the rock for his boys. And I was so impressed by that because I do not think there is a way in this world that I would be able to tell my children, I don't even have any, but if I did, I don't know that there's a way that I could say to my children that their father is not coming back and keep it together. I don't think I could do that. And so I'm saying all that. I don't know if it's relevant, Aries, but that's what I'm getting from this. I'm getting from this that it's time to grow up. You've got to stop being emotional, and you've got to step into, okay, game time. Let me tighten up. Let me do what I need to do. Let me be there for my kids. I hope that's resonating. Okay. Hierophant, please clarify the Hierophant, please. Obstacle to overcome. Okay, adjudication. So we may have some legal issues to deal with, Aries. We may even have some conflicts to resolve with either an organization or a group of people or even someone at your job. A lot of time the adjudication card is like, there's conflict and there's an issue that needs to be resolved. And because it's confirming the Hierophant, it either has to do with something in the workplace. It could be a legal issue, but it may not be a legal issue. Would you like to tell me, Spirit, who this involves, adjudication, please, for Aries? Ooh, damn it. Okay, y'all know I hate when my cards fall on the floor, but I'm looking at the World and the Eight of Swords. Hold on. Hold, please. Ugh. Ugh. Okay. Okay, the World is like a major accomplishment, closing a chapter, and the Eight of Swords is something that makes you feel trapped or maybe feeling victimized. Okay? It seems to me that there will be a resolution to this, but it's uncomfortable. And then the Eight of Cups. What are we walking away from? What is Aries walking away from, Spirit? What is Aries walking away from? Mature woman. Okay. A lot of times when I see these cards, it may not make sense as you're watching this, but it may make sense later. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind, because you're like, I don't know who that could be. But then as November evolves, you're like, okay. Okay, clarify this for Aries, please. Eight of Cups. And then the Ace of Cups. Okay. So Ace of Cups here. This could be a new relationship of some kind with the Ace of Cups that maybe is not taking off how you want. Maybe this is a message for you to be mature. This could be a message for self-love. It's a time for self-love. Love yourself. But if I'm honest, I am getting a little bit, this is very specific. I'm getting a message here that a relationship is not working out because of somebody's mom. Somebody's mom may be getting in the way of a relationship growing. That's what I'm getting. It may mean nothing to you, but that's what I'm getting. Okay, let's look at the Page of Pentacles. Clarify, please, what to avoid for Aries. Oh, 2 cards. Page of Swords and 4 of Wands. I don't think communicating or trying to be civil or trying to be I don't know if this is related, whoever you're having a conflict. I feel like you're trying to work something out. The Page of Pentacles, again, is dedicated. They want to grow and, figure out solutions. But the Page of Swords is communication and new ideas. And the 4 of Wands is related to domestic harmony. And as you can see, there's a couple on this card. I don't really know that trying to talk it out or trying to make it work is really helping. Or maybe it's the message that forcing communication perhaps is not working. Again, air sign energy here, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. I'm also just getting don't be naive, Aries. I think there's a piece of you that's no, I could still figure this out. But I feel like Spirit's you have all the information you need. I don't know. Let me know if that's connecting with you. You're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole, I feel like. Okay, clarify, please. The Moon for Aries. Oh, look, this 2 cards didn't make it. Okay, for Aries, the Moon, clarify the Moon, please. Pisces energy here. And occupation. Okay, so we've got some uncertainty around our work situation. Just trust your intuition, Aries, and we'll uncover what's coming up in your career and finances later on. And then let's look to see what's going on with the 7 of Pentacles. Clarify, please, the 7 of Pentacles for Aries. The 2 of Swords again. Yeah. I don't really know what your circumstance is, Aries, but it's okay to not know. It's okay to be confused. I think sometimes we need to allow ourselves to just be stuck. I'm serious. Sometimes it's okay to say, you know what, I don't really know how to fix this right now, but I don't need to fix it today. And so I'm going to divert my attention in other areas. And when you're able to do that, if you're still able to be productive with the Seven of Pentacles while you figure some shit out, you're not wasting time. You're just allowing time to do its thing, allowing yourself to be introspective, allowing yourself to be reflective. There's nothing wrong with that. Like I said, I don't know your situation, because maybe you do have a situation where you need to figure something out immediately. I don't think you're under that sense of urgency, but perhaps. It's okay to not know. It really is. It really, really is okay to not know. And I don't think you need to ruminate about something all day long. You can give yourself time to step away and come back to something. I do that all the time. But I'm somebody who's very intuitively led. So if I'm not feeling it, 9 times out of 10, I'm not doing it. Because I don't like showing up in an inauthentic way. I don't do these readings unless I'm feeling it. I promise you. And I don't show up in a way that I can't. Like y'all are getting the cards right now. I cannot show up in a way right now to be on camera. I look like the fucking heat miser's cousin right now. My hair is not done. There's no makeup on. There's no lashes. I look a mess, okay? And while I am confident enough to be on camera and show my followers me at my worst, it's just not conducive to what I'm trying to do right now. But I am feeling energetically comfortable enough to do this reading. So you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do the reading, but you're going to see the cards. You're not going to see me, you know? And so just being authentic in that and not forcing things. Okay, I hope that's helpful. All right, I've chatted so long now. Let's go ahead. I forgot I'm live. I'm so used to just stopping. Okay, so let me try to quickly recap. Quickly recap, and then we'll move on to your love and relationships. I just like to kind of get back to the base when I'm ready to recap, if that makes sense. Okay, so current self, hoping for more, rejuvenating. This month is all about change, changing for the better, having a stroke of luck. We need to kind of lock in and focus on logic and wisdom and not emotions. There seems to be some issues or conflict to resolve either with an organization or something maybe to do with work. Okay. We are ultimately deciding to walk away from something or spend some time alone. It's a little bit of a disappointment, but seems necessary. Don't think that you can create a new solution to a plan. I think you've got all the information you need. I don't think there's a new way to resolve an issue. I was watching Shark Tank all day yesterday, and one of the people who came on the scene, I told you I was feeling so chatty today. Oh my God. I'll try to make this quick. One of the people this was like an old episode. One of the girls who came on, she had an idea for like dating, and I'll spare you the details. All of the sharks were like, I don't think this works. Like, I see your idea, but like, I don't think that this is a good business model. And she was super passionate about it. And she was like, this is going to be a household name. You're going to see. And obviously it's not, because this was years ago. But she was so stubborn about it. And she had drained so much, over $100,000 into this. And they were like, look, you kept something going when you knew it wasn't working. And like, because you believe in it, and that's great, but like, and failure is important, but you need to know when to stop. And literally that's what all the sharks were telling her. Like, you need to know when to pull out. And I thought, I had to think about that for myself for a minute. I was like, have I had any of those moments like these past 4 years? And I was like, yeah. For my app, I was like really excited. Like, I had an app for 5 minutes called it was first called Ascension Sisters, and I rebranded it to Lightworker Women. But it is incredibly difficult and expensive to change human behavior and get people to engage with a new app that's independent. Unless you have like a super, super huge following, like your Beyonce or something. Even Beyonce doesn't have her own fucking app, okay? I do know some other creators that have their own app and seem to be successful with it, but it's not easy. And so I had to get to a point where I'm like, I can't keep inventing ways to try to make this work, you know? And I think that's the vibe here. Like, you need to stop trying to figure out ways to make something work. You do need to trust your intuition, even though you don't really know how something's going to work out. I think you need to allow yourself to be indecisive right now. Don't force a decision. Just be patient with yourself while you watch things unfold. I think as you give yourself more time, an answer will become more clear to something that you need guidance on. Okay, that's our monthly forecast. We're going to clear this, and we're going to move on to your love and relationships. Again, I haven't done this live in so long. I'm so used to stopping the camera. But you guys get to see it in real time. Okay. So this is why I don't record this anymore. It took me like all those minutes to reset this deck. Okay, your love relationships cards are already shuffled. So we're looking into what to expect, the unexpected theme of the month. Okay, here we go. What to expect, the unexpected. Wheel of Fortune again. I always tell you guys to pay attention when there are repeating cards, okay? Theme of them. And look, King of Swords again. That's really interesting because I also really like to pay attention when cards come out in the same order. So if you guys remember just a minute ago, we had the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, and the King of Swords. And here we are again, the Wheel of Fortune. I mean, we have two cards before, but we have the King of Swords immediately following the Wheel of Fortune. And I shuffled them. I shuffled the monthly forecast cards first, and I shuffled this second. So I always think it's really interesting when repeating cards come out in the exact same order. In this case, two cards, one right after another. Okay, yeah. It does seem like we are dealing with some difficulties in our family and relationships. I know everybody's circumstances are going to be different. I kind of feel led to use the Whispers of Love deck. Yeah, this one. What do you have for Aries, please? These cards are so big. I try to get jumpers, but literally my hand hurts trying to get a jumper. This hand. Okay, I'm just going to have to pick. For Aries, please, what you got? And another one, please. Aries. Okay, let's look at those after. And if I need to go to the Romance Angels, I will. All right. So what to expect, we have the King of Cups reversed and the Five of Wands. I do use reversals in this deck, but let's turn them around for the sake of it. King of Cups is water sign energy, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or someone who is really good at managing their emotions and, you know, being compassionate and helpful to others. Five of Wands is traditionally about conflict and competition. In this deck, it's more kind of looks like an argument, like neither one is wanting to budge. When we have these energies reversed, the King of Cups is somebody who isn't emotionally available, whether or not they're a water sign. And the Five of Wands reversed can oftentimes represent somebody who's tired of fighting. So it may be that you are the one that's tired of fighting, Aries, or somebody that you're dealing with is tired of fighting. You just gotten to a point where you're like, this isn't worth it. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do this anymore. You know? That's what you expect going into November. Now, the unexpected seems to be things turning around. We've got the Wheel of Fortune, good luck, good karma, good fortune, upright, and the King of Swords again, air sign energy, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Even if it's not an air sign, again, somebody maybe who's really intelligent, maybe somebody who's very communicative. It might even be refreshing that you speak to somebody who's very like cerebral or brainy, maybe not dealing with somebody who's so emotional. Maybe you've been feeling drained by dealing with someone so emotional for, you know, the past few months or so. And maybe now you're dealing with somebody, you know, just like with a different frequency. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I am getting the sense that maybe like we're kind of in a separation. We're kind of like maybe on a break or something, or maybe even if you're married, it might even just be that someone is kind of just piquing your interest in a way that you didn't expect. That's refreshing, you know? So yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting here. Or best case scenario, your partner is suddenly very communicative. Maybe your partner has done some self-work and they finally recognize the need to be communicative, and like that's a really positive change that you didn't expect. All right, now let's look at the theme of the month. We have the Ace of Pentacles here reversed. Ace of Pentacles typically represents a new opportunity, especially in a romantic setting. It usually indicates either a budding relationship that can grow or a relationship that started in the work environment, or like that you met professionally. When it's reversed, oftentimes it represents something that isn't taking root, something that isn't taking off. Okay, then we have the Nine of Cups reversed. The Nine of Cups is typically someone who's very happy. It's a wish fulfillment. When it's reversed, it's someone who's like feeling like something's missing. Like imagine having like all the comforts and everything that you have in your home, but you feel like, oh, you've got nobody to share it with. Like that kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, this is great, but something's missing. We also have the Three of Swords here, which is heartbreak, disappointment, and anguish. So definitely feeling some strain here in your relationships. Or maybe, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. And the Ten of Cups reversed. So Three of Swords next to Ten of Cups reversed is kind of clear to me that there's a breakdown in a family dynamic here or a relationship. Ten of Cups is usually big, happy family. When it's reversed, it's just that things are strained. You and your person are not on the same level anymore. You're not seeing eye to eye. There's a lot of pressure, I feel like, on the relationship. Let's look at your oracle messages. I don't know what I got first. Okay, hold on, what does it say? Be in the present and dream of the future. When we dream, everything is possible. Now, again, that goes back to what to embrace. We had the moon, right? The moon is about dreams, the unconscious, okay? And then spend quality time together, okay? This definitely feels like this connects to the Wheel of Fortune and King of Swords. Listen to and talk to each other. Yeah. There's definitely some communication happening this month that maybe you didn't expect. I think you were expecting someone to pull away from. I don't know if this is the same person. I think in one hand, you're expecting somebody to pull away from you and you're just expecting things to be shitty. But then surprisingly, like maybe you guys like actually find a way to get through to each other and communicate. And going back to this when we dream, be in the present dream. I think too, Aries, if that's the case, I think you need to be conscious of, if you are entertaining the idea of like healing and fixing a relationship, number one, I want you to be very honest with yourself about who that person is and what you're willing to tolerate, number one. But I think too, what I'm getting from this is like, give room for people to change. But what's important though, I'm just kind of like looking at the castle in the background. It's interesting. Can you guys see that? That little castle here. You got to give room for people to change. Now, the thing that you're going to want to pay attention to, Aries, is that someone wants to change for themselves. Yeah, you can be a motivator for people wanting to change, but they also want to change for themselves. Because if you are the only reason that somebody is going to make a change, it's not going to stick. So I know on one hand you want to protect yourself. Oh, they say this all the time. They always say they're going to change and it always ends up being the same thing. Give people room to change. And if you're not supportive, then guess what? They're not going to change. You know? I kind of felt the need to say that. Okay, so let me... Aries, I'm going to just show you. I'm going to show you the card. Should I read it? Oh, I should read it. I'll read it. Fine. But if you would like to read it for yourself, I'm going to pause it here so that you can, if you want to, just pause and read for yourself. But I'm going to read it. The first card, Dream of the Future. Avoid dwelling on things that have passed and no longer exist. Everyone has a past and that has helped to shape who they are. This history cannot be erased. Accept the past and look forward to the future. Set goals, dream big, and create. By doing this, you will eliminate the need to revisit the past. Having a goal helps you to focus on what is important. Setting a goal with a 1-year time frame is a simple way to live in the present. What would you like to be doing or achieving this time next year? Make it an attainable task and work on your dream every day. Once you have committed to your goal, you will find you are more easily able to reach it. Work consistently toward your dream and you will make steady progress and achieve it much quicker. This is the description of the card. A woman sits beneath the nighttime sky. The pyramids and crystal castle behind her represent ideals from the past. The structures refer to the past and the things that brought you to this point. The stars in the sky symbolize the higher power that guides you. Humans are made of the same energy that made the stars. You have a light inside you. Shine into the darkness and create your dreams. And I'll just let you see the card again in case you want to take a look. All right, we're going to look at spend quality time together. Now, if you're single, I just want to be very clear. Like, I use this deck personally to forecast my 2025, and I knew for a fact, not for a fact, but I had a very strong sense that I would be traveling in October. Now, that confused the hell out of me because I typically am very busy in October. So I was like, that's strange. Why would I be traveling my busiest time of the year? But, you know, as October is pretty much over, I did actually end up taking a spontaneous trip back to Georgia to visit my family. And this is the card that came up, spend quality time together. So this card doesn't always come up in relation to, not just this card, but any cards. It's not always connected to romantic relationships. So even if you're not in a romantic relationship right now, these cards could still be relevant in terms of, you know, broken family relationships that need to heal, an opportunity not coming off the ground. You know, take the messages you can get from it, even if you're single and not dating, okay? Because sometimes these messages can still be relevant. Okay, spend quality time together. Okay, it is easy to, oh, here, if you want to read it to yourself, pause it. Okay. It is easy to slip into the routine of daily life without making time to really connect and give your partner or relationship your full and uninterrupted attention. Make eye contact and actively appreciate each other. When you really tune into someone, they feel validated and valued. Doing this will deepen your relationship. When was the last time you complimented something your partner or loved one did? Giving someone a compliment takes little time and does not have a price tag. Encouraging or commending someone can positively affect his or her entire day. Two elementals share a kiss. Elementals, that's cute. Oh, because they're like fairies. It's cute. Two elementals share a kiss under a crescent moon. This kiss represents shared feelings of love or friendship. When you are in a relationship, do you make time to be present and share your love? Quality time can make or break any relationship. If you haven't been fully aware of someone, it's time to make this change. Okay. I hope that connects. Okay, Aries, that's what I have for your love life. So in short, I kind of feel like you're expecting this month to like not really go well for you romantically, but I think you're in for a happy surprise. That's really genuinely what I'm getting from it. Of where things kind of actually like go well for you romantically. Back of the deck energy was 6 of Pentacles. So maybe recently someone helped you out financially in your love life, or maybe you received financial aid or assistance from a loved one, perhaps, I don't know. Okay. Now let's look into your career and finances. Okay, again, these cards are already shuffled, so let's take a look here. Okay, what to expect. 4 of Cups reversed, 10 of Swords reversed. Let's move that over here. The unexpected. Ace of Cups, second time Ace of Cups is appearing. 8 of Swords, second time Ace of Swords is appearing. Theme of the month. Okay, like the back of the deck energy is 8 of Wands. So maybe recently you might have traveled for work, or maybe invested in some sort of trip, or maybe things have just recently gone really fast or sped up in your career or finances or work life. Okay, let's see what we got here. Before I really speak on this, I just want to see what jumps out of the career and finances. What do you have for Aries, please? Aries, November 2025. Oh, I don't have this deck right. Okay. Aries, November 2025. Aries, November. Did I want all that? I feel like you only need this one. Okay, Aries, November 2025. Okay, I'll take those 3. That's fine. Okay, we've got unstable, peacemaker, and mechanic. I'm going to set these over here. I don't know if you guys can see them, but that's okay. Oh, God. Okay. All right. What to expect? We have the Four of Cups reversed and the Ten of Swords. So I think things are finally starting to improve in your career and finances. I know you might be like, how, from looking at these cards? Now, typically the Four of Cups is like looking at the glass half empty. She's got these 3 cups to her left, but doesn't realize this magical, beautiful bowl to her right that she's touching. Okay? It's like the grass is always greener on the other side, right? When it's reversed, excuse me, she's finally starting to realize, oh, okay, like this could be good. Starting to see the bright side of things, starting to look at what she does have to be grateful for. Sorry guys, I'm a multiple sneezer. I wish I could say this is spiritual, but it's not. Because people do that all the time. Oh, sneeze confirmation. No, it's not. I'm just, my heat just turned on and the vent might be dusty. I don't know. Oh, please let this be the last one. Okay, well, clearly I need to blow my nose. Oh, what'd I do with my tissue? Okay, I guess I moved that tissue. All right, that's fine. Damn, my tissue's on the other side of the room. Okay, we'll just go with it. When the Ten of Swords is reversed, it is the swords falling out. The worst is behind you. So again, I think financially, or maybe in your career and finances, things are just now starting to be better. Maybe due to this recent boost that you experienced. Okay, I think that was the last one, guys. I grabbed a 3 of Pentacles by mistake. So maybe you're collaborating or working with other people and that's going well. Unexpected, Ace of Cups and 8 of Swords. Ace of Cups is new emotional fulfillment, a new cup to be filled. 8 of Swords is feeling like a victim, feeling tied up, feeling stressed. A lot of negative thoughts. There's 1 or 2 things happening unexpectedly this month. Either there's somebody who's coming into your life to like get you out of your head, who maybe is actually pouring into you and giving you a lot of validation. Like, no, you are worth it. You can do this. You can achieve this. Or you are actively working on yourself and attacking those limiting beliefs for yourself. That's kind of what I'm getting out of that. I think this would be a good time to look at the Mechanic card. Okay. Now, mend what needs mending. It might be broken, but not all is lost. Consider a career as a mechanic, an automotive, aerospace, or repair technician. You have the ability to easily fix your finances, but a sacrifice may be needed. No, you don't have to take this card literally, but I do see when this card comes up, it's usually a message like, hey, you need to take a little bit of inspired action, Knight of Wands, which we'll get into to kind of like fix your situation. Part of that includes how you speak to yourself about where you are in your career, where you are with your finances. You're going to unexpectedly be making the shift to like really pour into yourself. Okay, theme of the month. Before I get into this, I do see this unstable card, like a lot of up and downs with your finances. Maybe that's how you're feeling or have felt recently. Okay, at the very least, maybe that's how you're feeling at the beginning of November. There have been a lot of ups and downs with your finances, money coming in fast and going out just as quickly, fast changes regarding money, or unexpected turn of finances. Again, which would really kind of go along with the 8 of Wands, fast changes. Okay, let's look at theme of the month. We got Justice reversed. Maybe something not going the way that you thought it would, maybe not getting an outcome the way that you expected. And again, that's obstacle to overcome. Maybe remember we had the Hierophant and the adjudication card. Something's not going how you want this month. You're not getting a verdict. You're not getting an outcome the way you expected to, or a judgment, if you will, or a decision. The Justice card is also connected to Libra energy. We also have Queen of Wands here. That's fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but she's very confident. She's very radiant. She's very charismatic. So you're not letting this get you down. Even though something's not working out how you want, you're like turning it around. You're like, you know what? I'm going to make this work. The Justice card reverse can also be about self-criticism. You may be really hard on yourself this month, but you're working to turn this around. Five of Swords reverse, coming out of the conflict. Again, Five of Swords is definitely connected to conflict and like winning at all costs and doing what's necessary to get ahead. When it's reversed, that's you're finally extending an olive branch. You're finally finding a resolution to something. You're taking your foot off the gas, but for good reasons. And the Knight of Wands. I feel like there's a freedom here. There's something, it feels like you're being freed with the Knight of Wands. Fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Very brave, very ambitious, eager to get things done. I think there's a message here. It seems that an end, whether or not you get the outcome that you want, it seems like a conflict finally coming to an end is freeing you in some way. So we've got the Peacemaker card here. You're being called to apply diplomacy and tact to a difficult situation. Consider politics, negotiations, unions, contracts, or any peacemaking careers. Approach situations with a win-win attitude when making business deals. So I feel like Aries, yeah, whether or not you get the outcome you want, I think finally just having a resolution is just like making you feel better this month. Now, this could be contractual obligations. Maybe you're trying to close a deal. And if you are, I would highly recommend that you do that before Mercury goes retrograde on the 9th. Maybe you're feeling like there's some like work conflicts you've got going on. Maybe there's some difficult clients you've got. That could be a message as well. Maybe your biggest, struggle is just yourself this month. Maybe encouraging yourself and pushing yourself, and maybe you're battling an inner conflict to be motivated and needing to kind of really get out of that. That could be the message here as well. I'm not really getting a message around your finances. Number one, we don't have any pentacles here. I don't think we even got any pentacles besides the Seven of Pentacles in your monthly forecast, which is just slow and steady. This doesn't seem to be a month where like there's a huge emphasis on finances. And I'm not here to say that like your finances don't matter. I don't know what your financial situation is, but it just doesn't seem to be the main focus this month. It seems more mental, and it seems more like impatience for change. Like you guys remember those memes a few years ago, back when Instagram was really popular, and it was like the Kermit the Frog, like me to me, like meme with the black hoodie. It's like that's kind of like the vibe. Like you're really kind of battling yourself this month. I really need to blow my nose after this. Okay, let's look at your oracle message. Let's see. Rose quartz. Wow. I don't know that I've ever read this message. I don't know that I have. I mean, I work with this deck very rarely, so I don't have these messages like committed to heart, but I do like this deck. Okay, let's see. Did I get it? Okay, so I'm going to pause it here in case you'd like to read it for yourself. Here's page 1. Here's page 2. And here's page 3. And here's page 4. I'm only going to read, I think, the general message. Okay, essential meaning: self-love, self-worth, being enough, worthiness. Did I not say major accomplishment? Your dignity, goddammit. Okay. I love when the oracle message validates the reading. I really do. Okay. When Rose Quartz Spirit appears, you are called to pay attention to one of the most wonderful creations the conscious universe has ever brought into being. You. Have you forgotten how beautiful you are? You have so many strengths and a unique set of qualities that will be like magical superpowers as you walk the healing path. Rose Quartz Spirit has come to remind you of your soul's worth. Many, many people will benefit simply from knowing you and being in your presence, drinking in the love that radiates from your heart. Trust that the conscious universe is always there to fill you up with the power of love whenever you need it, and remind you that you are worthy of all that you seek, for you are an exquisite expression of divinity. What a powerful and one of a kind source of healing love you are. Yeah, I think that really tracks with like what I was saying. Going back to major accomplishment, the Ace of Cups with the Eight of Cups, like self-love, like you're loving yourself. Yeah, for sure. For sure. I think that's the vibe. That's why I think you're just battling yourself this month, Aries. You're literally battling yourself. And I think the biggest reason for that, and this is not just like from the cards, this is just from what I know of like when you're going through a growth stage. The biggest reason for like anybody struggling with themselves is because on one hand, they're struggling with who society told them to be. And on the other hand, you're struggling with where you thought you'd be. And because both of those realities are not lining up, you're being really hard on yourself. And you got to let that go, babe. You have got to let that go. This is the path that you're on. You made the decisions that you made with the information that you had at the time. So don't beat yourself up for any past decisions that you would like to change. And just take the wisdom you can from it. Take the wisdom you can from it and move forward. All right, I'm talking way too much. I love you, Aries. I hope this was helpful. Drop some comments below. If you're watching for your sun sign, watch for your moon and your rising as well. I love you so much. I'm going to clear this and move on to Taurus. Bye.